Oh boy. What up? What up? What up? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Listen, I ain't even gonna hold y'all up today. This is cousin talk. Now, let me go tell y'all up front. We done already started our conversations. We done already started our uh exchanging juice. We done started doing everything in the background. So I'm not even gonna hold y'all up because my cousin Thea is getting sleepy. She already said I made her put clothes on. So without further ado, here go two of my favorite cousins right here, Tadia and
Hey,
Marquise. We
hey.
call her Tracy. How y'all
Hey,
doing
how
today?
we good?
how,
We
how y'all
good.
doing this evening?
We good.
Late in the midnight hour.
Listen, let me, let me tell you something. My disclaimer is for me because I'm not one of those people. Yes, Tania is absolutely positively a licensed social worker, LSW. Okay, that's
Hmm.
not who I am.
However, not working in that capacity tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Right.
look, since we're talking about you, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people and tell everybody who it is that you are?
Well, I am a loving, caring, sometimes moody,
Don't
yet
be too dramatic. Just
empathetic mother of three, licensed therapist. And yeah, that's all I'm going to give you.
that's it.
That's it.
That's all you're giving us. All right. Well,
Short and sweet.
Tracy.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am an author, an entrepreneur, business owner, and a custom designer jewelry maker. Yeah,
So
that's me.
that's it. Y'all ain't giving no where y'all from, where y'all at, where you're from.
Well,
We all
I'm
know you
from
from Pittsville,
I'm
Alabama.
all the way from Chicago, Illinois, y'all.
No, you're from Pittsville.
That
I'm
is true.
Is,
I'm streaming live from
is
your
that
great
where we
granddaddy
from?
house right now.
So
Yes,
if you
I
gonna answer for us, why you ask us?
Cause y'all not
right.
doing it yourselves. You're not doing it yourselves.
I mean, yes, our roots is Pittsview, Alabama. Yes, it
Okay.
is.
However,
Uh,
I am from East Chicago, Calumet, Indiana.
yeah, currently I live in Chicago, Illinois. We
Okay. First of all, how y'all doing this evening?
good.
All right, all
Tania,
right.
you hanging in there?
Late in the midnight hour.
Yeah, you just heard her say she's a licensed therapist. You know how many calls she done had this week and who she done had with?
look, y'all,
Hey,
people already jumping on. Look at that, look at that. Hey, that Tiffany. Hey there. Look at Juice.
that's my
That this is
friend.
she ain't our cousin. We'll deal with Juice later. Look, here go Tiffany. EC stand up. Boy,
Absolutely.
y'all everywhere. Look at this.
You know
Look at light skin.
See, somebody said, all right, Indiana.
She
See,
from Indiana,
it.
Indianapolis,
Representing
and
out
Fort
here.
Wayne, somewhere down there in them areas right there.
right,
She
it's
she from Muncie or somewhere. Ain't no telling where she from. And then she went
I
to
see.
IU, so
oh, she
Ain't
went to
no wrong
IU.
with IU. Back
it,
that up.
I must say, yes, Tania went to IU too, baby.
I thought Tania went to Purdue,
I started there and I ended at IU.
You finished
but your
at IU.
boys at Purdue.
Yes, they are.
Okay,
Yes,
all right. That's what matters. Anyway, how y'all doing?
we
We all
good. How?
right. Let's get in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
What
I
we
asked y'all to join this podcast because it's a few things that I want to talk about.
Okay.
It's a few things I want to talk about, and the number one thing we're going to talk about. Let's start with Tracy's books. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So for everyone who don't know, Tracy or Marquise, we call her Tracy. She's a twin, by the way. You ain't gonna shout out your sister. You just gonna. Okay. Well. Okay. Okay. You got two sisters. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I
So
have many sisters. So why? I mean, like, we'll be here all night.
okay, you're right. And Tania, you're not gonna shout out Randall. Nobody.
That's my brother. I love him always.
But this ain't
Yeah,
about him, right?
right.
Not at this very moment.
Because nobody I want to talk about family history. I don't think.
So,
Right.
but I'll tell you, history is very important and it's needed for what we're gonna talk about today. So y'all know that. But anyway,
Oh my gosh.
we
Okay.
I'm finna to talk about something with these two lovely ladies that Tania know where most of my bones are buried. I mentioned her before in my podcast. Between her and Tyrone, they can definitely edit right and make sure that my obituary is top tier, top notch. They can. Only thing I'm asking publicly, please do not put the word matriculate in my obituary. I hate that word. I hate that anybody with the HBCUs and keep using it. And please don't ever tell anybody I matriculated anywhere because I don't want them to know. I don't want nobody to hear that. Okay. All right. It's on wax now.
Gotcha.
I hate that
Gotcha.
word.
Okay.
So Tracy, let's talk about your books. I have read the first book, and the
Hmm.
second book I still have not ordered yet because I said I wanted
Hmm.
a signed copy. And I do plan to get a signed copy.
Absolutely.
But let's put a little bit of emphasis on the first book for the time being. So with the first book, okay, so you had a well, first of all, tell us the name of the book.
Sure. The first book is called Dating versus Hooking Up. Why is it important to date? A journey and a journal. And it's a
And
collection of stories of individuals from 18 to 40 telling their dating experience. And our cousin had the experience of somebody having the same name as him, but it wasn't. So
please, if
this,
y'all please buy
so
this book. It's not. I'm not the Daryl that's in that book. However, our stories are similar, but I'm not
Yes, they
that
are.
Daryl in
yes,
Yeah.
they
particular.
are.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes,
So
they
he
are.
was
Yes.
when we did the book discussion back in December of 2021. Everybody in the room, every woman in the room was ready to kill. Let me say kill, and he and another gentleman was advocating honesty of this person. And so it's a phenomenal read. It's a short read. We talked about 70 pages, but I do have to let you know it is going to make you reflect. It's going to make you see yourself, and it's going to make you contemplate and have some good conversations with yourself, really around who I want, what am I looking for in regards to a relationship. It's going to ask you those questions.
And these are all true stories, by the way. So
Yes, they are. Every last one
but
of
the names were changed to protect the innocent and the not so innocent. So I remember coming up there. I flew up there that weekend
them.
for that conference. Or what was it? Would you consider it a conference?
It was a book discussion,
Okay, book discussion. It was a
mhm,
panel book discussion. And like she said, I'm talking about people were I mean, they were
they
giving Daryl all the
they
fits. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were giving Daryl all the fits. And I'm like,
oh my
bro, I probably
god,
need to change my name or something because ain't no way you gonna sit up here and tell me that. And then but to me it was so. I'm like sitting up here like, now why did my cousin reveal all my business like this? But honestly, I'm like, that's not me
but
though, because I wasn't even interviewed for the book.
right, you
But
wasn't.
it just so happened to be like that though. Maybe it's just a Daryl thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's
But
just
it's a great book. Let me show you guys a picture of the books. So this is what the books look like. The one on the left, dating and versus hooking up, that's the one that I'm talking about. Now you have a new book out called Happy Life. Now I don't really know much about Happy Life and I don't know how long that book has been out, but I'd like to hear what you had to say about the book though.
so Happy Life is called Happy Life: How to Find Yourself in Love Without Compromise. It's been out since July 2024.
Uh,
And this one is the steps. So think about dating versus hooking up is helping you to figure out who you are, what do you want, what are you looking for, making sure that you're in the right space
mhm.
to go into the dating process. Well, Happy Life gives you all the tools to you to be sustainable, to have that happy relationship. So we first focus on 4 chapters. The first one is all about loneliness, helping you to prepare, understand that loneliness phase is not a death sentence; it's actually preparation.
Mhm.
Ready for your next. Then we talk about vulnerability. You gotta be open. You gotta be open to let that person in. And
Mhm.
it also talks about how to go through that healing process when you have been hurt, when somebody maybe have not allowed that person in and you don't because you're in a place of fear. Then we go right into intimacy. And the fallacy that people think is when they think of intimacy, immediately they talk about sex. We do talk about that a little bit, but we talk about the other stages of intimacy,
Right.
emotional, spiritual, and mental intimacy. And people be like, what are you talking about? Because people don't understand if you don't have those other things, it does not prosper the relationship. I always talk about sex is the icing on the cake, but you still need the milk, the eggs, the flour, the sugar. It
Right.
just to make the cake. And if you don't have the other parts of intimacy, it won't last. And then the last part is all about building trust. So how to let go and heal and move forward. And it's funny because what I found is four things happen when you read the book. First, you learn how to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then you learn how to have a foundational relationship with the Lord and love Him and understand who He called you to be. The next thing is you healthy, happy relationships and how to move through them. The last piece is whatever is on the inside of you that needs to be birthed, your purpose, your destiny, your dreams is coming.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's not
Interesting.
just for the singles. What I found is there's a lot of married people who read the book and talked about how even in their marriage, they've gone through all four of those chapters sometimes in the marriage.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because they say that your when you talk, you get a lot of feedback. So you got something turned up behind you. You got the
Who,
volume
me?
turned up. Yeah. They say every time you talk, I get feedback.
I can turn the volume down.
Okay, we're
Okay.
gonna see if it gets better because I just got two text messages back to back talking about you got
Okay.
feedback. But
Is
anyway,
that
it's all
better?
good. So, Tania, my precious cousin. Now, Tania, now let me say this. Now that in the hierarchy of the Jones family, uh, you can purchase the book on Amazon. We'll give you the links and things like that towards the end, Juice. Now let me tell y'all the hierarchy. So I think Tiffany was the oldest. Then come Marquise and
Mm-hmm.
Jaquise, your sister. Then
Mm-hmm.
come me. Then come Tania. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm still
Mm-hmm.
the oldest boy on both sides of the family. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I spent most of my time with Tania and when I would come visit Indiana, things like that as a child growing up, I spent the vast majority of the time with Tania. So Tania and I, now you might want to close your ears, Tracy, but Tania and I, okay, so I got okay. Let me tell you a little story. So back in 2003, I was married. I was my ex wife and I were going through it big time, right? So I made
Mm-hmm.
one telephone call. I called Tania. I said, "Look at here, I'm about to get out of here." Okay. She was like, "What you mean?" I said, "I'm about to leave here and I'm about to come up there." You remember this
I was
story?
in Target when you
Yeah.
called.
So, so I called Tania. I said, I'm on my way. I got a bus ticket. I got a
Mhm.
bus ticket, and I took that bus from Columbus, Georgia, to Hammond, Indiana. Tania picked me up from the bus station. Then nobody knew I was coming to Indiana but Tania. I get there, call Tania. She picked me up from the bus station. She took me she took me straight to my uncle's house. No warning, no call, no nothing. Just went straight to my uncle's house and said, he opened the door. He said, "What you doing here?" I was like, "I need to move in." You remember you dropped me off at Uncle Tommy's house? I said, "I need to move in." I just walked right in and she took me right to his house. I was like, oh, that's how I knew for sure in my adult life, Tania was my rider. Cause
Always.
she
Always.
didn't waste no time with coming to get me and supporting me in all of my foolishness. I did everything I could up there to find me a job. Couldn't find a job, and then eventually I ended up getting into truck driving school. We're not gonna talk about my truck driving school experience right now. This is not, we got to do Daryl show after dark. After
Facts. You might have to pay for that.
we got to do that one on
Say what?
Patreon. We gotta do that one on Patreon. We not doing that here.
That is a fact.
So 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 we so Tania, we've had our we've talked about relationships and we've broken them down. We've done look at this.
Yeah. She know. She was
Look,
there.
look,
Okay.
we we're not gonna
She
talk
said
about
we are not.
we're not gonna talk about this though.
Name
But
should be
anyway,
changed. Okay.
so we're not gonna talk about this. So
Mhm.
uh so today we've I, I can't say too much because we've been sworn to secrecy secrecy over the years. But anyway, so put it like this. So if you ever encounter my cousin Tia, right? If you're a guy, I'm gonna go and apologize now because everything that she does and knows concerning men came from me. Every last thing. Am I lying, Tania?
Mo- yeah, most of it.
95%
There
of it.
there are some other male figures in my life that have, added to that, but yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay, 80%. We're gonna say 80%. I ain't gonna be too
Oh, it's a yeah, it's up there. It's
okay.
definitely up there.
So Tania, in the time that we've known each other from birth, uh what do you say relationships have been like in your life before the information that I've given and after the information that I've given you? And the things that I've shown you over the years.
Oh, okay. So, man, Breeze, that was you asked me to dig back in the crates. So, um,
Oh.
I was, I would definitely say before like a lot of our conversations, um, in terms of relationships, like I didn't understand, and I would say one of the main changes after talking to you is the emotions attached to people and situations. So I definitely learned like how to separate things. Um, and also too, I would definitely say that you gave me the male perspective. So I can see things not just from my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh boy. So before, oh, it was a little rough. It was a little rough. I remember like a lot of tears before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then after though, I think the tears kind of turned into hardness. So I'm not sure if it was good or bad.
Oh.
To
Hard.
be honest.
We're gonna say hardness. That we're gonna go with.
Well,
Okay.
because she became a pistol in relationships, y'all.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Now, so Tracy, your relationship background. Let's tell the people. You were married for how long,
I was married for 25 years.
and then became
Mhm.
single at which point?
Uh, I got married right out of high school. I got divorced when I turned 42.
So you were basically now to deal. You were basically still on the porch during this time. You hadn't really stuck your toe in the water for 25 years concerning
Yes.
Mhm.
dating, courting, things like this. So
Hmm.
how has it been? And I wanted everybody to see three different perspectives. I've been married and divorced. Tracy's been married and divorced. She's been married and divorced one person, 25 years. Tania has never been married before, but she said
Mhm.
that we talked last night or yesterday that it's still a desire. Okay, I think that's what you said, right? One day,
Mhm.
yeah, okay, one
Mhm.
day.
Mhm. I'm
Whomever's
open.
watching, it's just one day. Okay, so anyway, but how has it been for you since you've been divorced, and then getting back out into these dating streets?
Well, well, I ain't gonna because cuz already know the beginning part of this. It was hard. It was very hard, because I realized I never really got to date for real, and what
Right.
I remembered
Right.
and what was out here was like, "Excuse me?" And I remember Tania and Daryl sitting here talking about, "Well, now, Teresa, you know," and I was like, "No, I don't." And
Mhm.
so and I remember a lot of people kept saying, "Well, you know, you're gonna have to do and you're gonna have to accept." And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'll be by
We
myself."
did.
Did I not say I would be by myself? I'll never forget. One of y'all told me, "Would you expect that God was gonna send him he was gonna ring your doorbell and tied up in a nice little bow and he was gonna say, 'Here you
I'm
go.'"
sure that was Breeze. That definitely sounds like
I think
something
that
you
was
would say. Just don't care.
he didn't care. We don't care.
Listen. Okay, so I just want to know: was any of my information untrue?
Oh, no, it was very honest and accurate. It was just shocking to realize that this was foolishness that I was going to have to deal with.
People don't
Um,
Mhm.
understand. Dating in your 40s is not for the
no,
weak at all,
it
especially
is
when
not.
you've been in something like a 25-year relationship. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if you've been with somebody 5, 10, 7 years or whatever, it's not easy at all.
No, it's
Well, I
not.
mean, I just think just being in you're not the same. Like you are not the same person. Your views, your expectations, your needs have changed. You know, you have grown, you've developed, you've had different types of life experiences. So all of that is going to look different in terms of what you need and what you want in a relationship. You
Mhm.
know, versus like young 20 something, you just like, oh, I love you. And I love you so much. It's just all like based on like pure emotion. But you know, as you get older, like for me at this point, like in my 40s, it's like, okay, well, we got to break down some math along with you know this love part. Like love is wonderful, but like can we actually have a real partnership?
Right.
Like, you know, are we able to give and take? Like, you know, can we endure the difficult times? You know, can we endure the storms? Like, what's your conversation like? Like,
Right.
how do you communicate? Do you shut down? Like, do you walk away? Like, all those little tidbits, like those things matter in your 40s, whereas in your 20s, you just like whatever. You go
Mhm.
from 0 to 1,000, from I love you, I love you, I love you too. I hate you. You like what's her name, Taraji
And
and Baby
Jody,
Boy.
yeah, Jody and
I hate
Yvette,
you,
yeah.
Jody. I hate you,
Come on now.
Jody. You know, I love you, Jody. You know, it's just completely two completely different worlds.
Yeah. And
Ooh.
then I think the other piece of it too is what I learned was being in the relationship for as long as I was married and when I came out of the dating scene, people gonna laugh and not even understand this, but I didn't know who I was. So
Oh, we get it. Oh,
ex
we
husband,
totally understand.
like my ex husband got me when I was right out of high school. I wasn't even 18 years old yet when we got married and he got me. And so 4 kids later, 25 years later, I didn't know who Marquise was. I
Right.
didn't know who I was outside of him. I didn't know who I was outside of them kids. I didn't know what my gift and my purpose was. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I liked. So I spent the first 3 years after the divorce learning me and understanding that I realized that I was married to somebody for 25 years that A, didn't even know me or like me. And then the second part of it is understanding too that I settled. Like I settled for something, not understanding what my worth and my value is and what I brought to the table. And so I spent 25 years being gaslighted and had to take time to heal and develop and grow into who I am for me
Mhm.
to be ready for somebody, the real thing, to come into my life.
Mhm. Mhm. So, okay. So, let's talk about the self-discovery part of being single. How was that for you, Tracy?
You know what? It was, eye opening because I started the self discovery part at the tail end right before the divorce, which is crazy. So, right in my 30s, right around 36, I started to be like, okay, we're not dealing with this no more.
Right.
And though I didn't leave for another, 5 or
6
6
years.
years,
Yeah. Mhm.
it took courage those 6 years to get to the place where I felt like I could take care of myself because I left the marriage thinking that I couldn't take care of myself.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
it was like I got 2 degrees. I was working in higher education. Um, I made good money and all this stuff, but I honestly believed that I could not take care of myself. That I needed someone to take care of me, and how was I going to do this? And
Mhm.
also feeling like I didn't know the basics of how to live. And so it was one of those pieces where when I talk about the second book, that isolation season, I remember moving into my brand new house 14 months after staying with my parents after the divorce and moving to my brand new house, learning who I was and feeling so lonely and so
Mhm.
lost because I'm so used to being with someone, having somebody. I didn't know how to be with myself. I didn't know
Right.
how to
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
comfortable being alone and being with me, getting to know who I was. And I had to go through that phase just to figure out me. So it was a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of crying. It was a lot of crying out to the Lord, talking about why you forsaking me. You don't love me no more. Why you doing me this way? In the
Right.
midst, so like trying to date, it's crazy. I got divorced and people start coming out the woodwork, and it's people who I had liked for years coming out the woodwork, but they came to play.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. Don't you worry.
They came to play, and it
Uh-huh.
was just like, no, we're not. It's like, yeah, I might have been married for 25 years, and maybe I wasn't out on the scene, but my standards have not changed. Certain things we just wasn't gonna do,
Right.
and um so it was changing. So it was the self-discovery piece. It took time, it took a lot of work, it took a lot of dealing with the people who wanted to play for me
Mhm.
to be, you know what, I sit over here in the corner.
Right. But did you ever get the sense to want to run back though? Run back to Egypt, so to speak?
Oh, we did that a couple times. We did that a couple times and
Alright.
realized every time why we left in the first place.
Mhm.
So my advice to someone is there's a reason why you left. I know a lot of time, and I talk about it in the first book, in the last chapter. I'm in the last chapter of the first book, and I talked about how you run back, and then I talk about it a lot in the second book. But I talk about the loneliness will make you desire to be with someone that you will go back to the thing that almost killed you, the thing that almost ruined you, the thing that broke you, the thing that was never good for you in the first place, just so that you can be alone. And you have to, that's when the loving yourself really comes into play and understanding who you are and what your worth and what your value is. And understanding that I don't have to go back to the place that nearly made me lose my mind,
Mhm.
uh, so that I wouldn't be quote unquote physically lonely.
Tania, now you haven't been married, right? But I know that we talked about this. Now you've gotten to see marriage from your parents' perspective. They were married for how many years before they both passed away?
Oh my gosh. 40 plus.
40
Mhm.
plus years, okay. Um, then you've got to see all the drama that I put people through. I'm owning it. It's my mess. I told the truth. Y'all can't use it against me. Okay. Plus, you've seen from the perspective of your grandparents and the perspective of your cousins and things like that. What's your mindset towards marriage and the stuff that we talked about over the years?
Um, I think that that's one of the things. My parents' relationship, their marriage, most of all, has made it most difficult for me, in relationships in general. and probably also in terms of me, like, actually moving forward with getting married. When you have the or when you experience and grow up with the kind of relationship that my parents had, that's big. Like,
Cause your daddy
they,
was the man. I don't care
oh
what
I,
nobody
man, like,
say.
these
baby.
are two people who loved and sacrificed for each other. Like, they are everything that I would want in a marriage. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. I'm not sitting here saying that by any means. However, when you grow up with that kind of example,
Right.
it's hard.
No.
It's really hard. Especially when you have the kind of father that I had.
Right.
I mean, like you said, like, my daddy did a lot. He,
Yes.
took care of my mom for over 30 years. He took care of my brother and I, his grandkids, people out on the street. Like, he was just an amazing man. And my daddy would tell me growing up, like, baby, if you looking for a man like me, you just probably ain't gonna never find him. So just stop.
He ain't lie.
And
Cause yo, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something about my cousin Randy. Randy, when I tell you that Joker set the bar so high with being somebody's husband.
Hmm.
Okay, so full stop, Tania. When the very first time I met your mom as a kid, she has always been bedridden. Every
mhm,
second, I've never seen your mom stand on her own 2 feet. Okay,
mhm,
but I've also never seen your dad without being beside her side. Your mom,
absolutely.
she had MS. That's
Hmm.
she passed away a few years ago, and then when your dad passed away a
2018.
couple years ago, that was like I don't know. It's like when she passed away, I ain't gonna say he got a break because I don't believe that because he was still very active and very, hands on with you and the boys and things like that. But when I tell you, all of America, you ever hear somebody say when you hear somebody say for better for worse, for sickness and in health, for richer or for poor,
Yes.
Randy Crawford, the
Get that.
Randy Crawford, that Joker
Is
was the
that.
epitome of that. I
Yes, he
promise you, I've
was.
never seen a man in my life perform like this guy. And I ain't just boosting him up because he's my cousin. I'm actually related to Tania, her mom. He married
Mhm.
into the family. But I'm
Yeah, yeah.
telling you, to this day, I ain't met a dude yet. And whether his last name was Williams, Jones, Upshaw, whomever, I've never met a man to match this guy's
Mhm.
tenacity, his zeal, his effort,
Yes.
I've never met a man like that.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it's gonna be hard. Like he said, it's going to be hard to find a man like that. That man had every opportunity to walk away. He didn't.
Yes, he
He
Mhm.
did.
sat there. He did exactly what God told him to do. He sat there with his wife. He took care of your mom. He did everything
Hmm.
he could. And I promise you got people in the doggone comments. Kirky, Tiffany, everybody will tell you how, and Tracy can tell you, hey,
Yes.
this man is a man, god dog it. So
Yep.
you
Hmm.
seeing that, Tania, like
Come
I
on
know
now.
your standards gotta be
Extremely high.
exactly extremely high, extremely high. Has anybody ever come
Absolutely.
close?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, they are, because I always say, like, when you, especially for men raising daughters, like, be your daughter's first example of a man. Buy her diamonds, so that way when a man does that, it means nothing to her.
Yep.
And that is something that my daddy did for me, because that was always my mentality. I mean, I'm just gonna be all the way real. Like, I'm spoiled across the board, in terms of men in my life.
Right.
My dad, my brother, my boys now at this point, like, they take care of me. So it's like the typical, like, I need a man, kind of needs that you may see for certain people. Like, I personally, I don't have that, because I have it in them, and vice versa. So, because now I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't do anything, because my thing is that what I expect, I am willing to give, and
Right.
more.
Right.
So I
Mhm.
give all of me, in my relationships. And that's the thing. And that's the one thing that I feel that being, growing up with you helped me with, because it helped me to to learn how to cultivate that part, and that also that protection to
Right.
kind of weed out some of the, I'm just gonna be real, read out some of the bullshit,
Oh.
because I am willing to give so much of myself. But
Mhm.
again, that's how I grew up. Like that's just what I saw. And that's just really, if when we talk about, our family history, our family culture, like that's just really how our family is. Like the family dynamic is like, man take care of woman, woman take care of man. So
Right.
that could be, that can get a little bit tricky too, in
Yeah.
terms of dating, especially, with some of these, with like kind of nuanced ideas.
Mhm.
So, and that's the thing. So it's just like in the self-discovery piece, Tracy, that you were talking about, I think, for me, it became the same thing, because how do I, merge like what my family, what my values are, as a person, and then also what my needs and wants are, and just really trying to figure that out and figure out what it means to me, not just because this is what I witnessed, growing up.
Right. Because of course, our parents' relationships are not our relationships. We can safely say that. However, they do provide a foundation or a blueprint to what it is that
Mm-hmm.
we will want to have in our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, like from like with the foundation that we have, do you think do okay, Tania made a said she is she's only gonna offer what she can give. Do you think you're capable of giving it at this stage in your life, Tania? And then you, Tracy?
So
This
for
is
me,
honesty hour.
well, first of all, to clarify, what I'm saying is I'm willing to give all of me.
Right.
So,
Can
and is
but
that
can you
something?
do it though? Can you do it in this
Yeah.
hour?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I am willing and open to being that vulnerable to the right person.
Mhm.
Like
We
I
going
have to feel safe in order for me to be able to do that.
Tracy?
Absolutely. The truth of the matter is that I didn't write the books for nothing. I had to go through the process first. And
Oh, that's
so
a word. Come on.
I had to go through the process first. And as I have now gone through the process, it has allowed me to be open and learn. Like I was just telling my significant other today about the things that I've learned from my past and how I'm not the woman that I was when I got married. I'm not the woman that I was when I got divorced, but I am a healthier, happier, more thriving woman than I've ever been because I know me and
Mhm.
I'm confident and reassured in me, and it has allowed me to be able to take the step back and realize that everything I've gone through was for a purpose and a destiny. And
Hmm.
allowed me to be where I am right now. And I learned another cool lesson. It was funny. It was funny. I can look back at this and now laugh and say some of the things that my ex husband asked for me to do for him, God has been able to place the person in my life to allow me to be able to do things that I did not want to do for the first one, that I will drop everything and flip over chairs without a problem doing for the, like, the person in the comment says, for the right one. And so when the right one came along, it wasn't even it wasn't even a battle or a fight. It was like second nature. So
Easy.
it's so easy. It's like the stuff that you would not do for somebody else. You're like, "Oh, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that." It became this things of like you had a desire, you had this yearning to do it, and not to do it because you wanted to reciprocate what they gave for you, but it was one of these things where you felt so safe, you felt so in this place of like, "Oh, this is this is it," to the place it's like, it don't even, it's not even a question. And it's so second nature. Half the time you don't even realize what you're doing and how you're moving. It's just God and the Holy Spirit has allowed me a couple times to like remind me of stuff that I didn't do in the past to realize, oh, you willing to do that now, but I've grown, I've developed, I know who I am, I'm confident, I'm reassured, and it's the right dynamic, it's the right relationship, it's all the things that I've ever wanted in a relationship I now have and possessed, but I had to go through the 25 years of, "Okay."
I
That-
like that. Okay. So many things take place during the okay.
hey,
Yes, so many
man.
things took place going, "Okay."
Ooh, ooh, you don't want to know about so many things taking place. Oh my goodness. So
Yeah. We can't share all the secrets, y'all.
no,
We can't
no, no.
share all
Remember, Daryl show after dark. We're gonna get that cracking. Uh, so each one of you, it don't matter who answers first. Today, well, let's start with Tania. Tania, if you can go back to 16-year-old Tania. Well, no, you were in a
Mm.
relationship at 16 though. Cause right with
She was.
yeah, she was. You was in a relationship at 16. But we're gonna still
Mm.
use 16-year-old Tania. You know, no shade to nobody else. You know, shout out to my boy. If you can go back to 16-year-old Tania with the wisdom and knowledge that you have now, where do you see your life being at right now?
Okay, that's real broad in terms of relationships.
Relationships, life in general, period.
Oh,
Now
okay.
let me tell everybody this. Tania is a licensed social worker. She has a business, and the name of her business is tell them Tania, because I forget already. My bad.
Inf- Infinite Freedom Counseling and Wellness.
Okay.
I am taking clients.
Okay. Are you doing virtual?
Yes, I
O-
do.
Okay, virtual. Okay. I can't sit on your couch because you know entirely too much.
No, you
Well, you
can't.
are her
It
family, so it's
it
unethical.
yeah, it's very unethical for me to sit on your couch. But from, from 16-year-old Tania to today, how would your life be different? Um, yeah, let's break everybody down. Break it down.
Okay. I would have said number one, I would have slowed down. Um, slow down in terms of wanting to be grown, wanting to be an adult.
Mm.
Um, I would have done things differently in terms of my education. I would have been more diligent about that. After um, after graduating high school. Really though, I mean, outside of that, I really can't say much because all those things led me to where I was supposed to be. And that just goes in terms with my career, what has chosen me because I didn't choose it. Being a therapist is like, I have a unique set of experiences, life
Right.
experiences,
Right.
that puts me in a position to understand people in general and all the complexities of life, so I think that had I not gone through or experienced some of those things, um what I do on a daily basis, I probably wouldn't be able to do. The amount of empathy that I have and the ability to keep it real and kick it real, with people like,
Right.
this is what it is and this is, what you can expect and let's try things this way. Um so I really honestly I really wouldn't change I really wouldn't change a lot.
Okay, Tracy. Because at 16, you were still ripe and young and fresh, and you was about to be married at 17, right?
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
would you if you can go back? What would you do?
Be
What would you tell her?
confident. I,
You
I
what?
would tell her I would tell her to be confident and to know that who she is and not feel less than that she was enough. And she didn't have to take mess and she didn't have to people please. Um, but I also realized that, I would tell her that she's resilient, that she's a warrior, that, as people looking for the miracle, you were the miracle. You are the miracle. Um, you will transform and change the lives of so many people, and it's gonna be years before you even realize how powerful you are. So I would undergird her with encouragement and affirmation, but understand, tell her you still got to go through the process. The process is necessary for you to be who you are. You're not
Mhm.
going to be able to be this woman, the woman that the successful woman that you see before you, the woman that raised 4 kids and they all graduated from college, and the woman that got multiple degrees and left higher education after 25 years and took a risk and started her own business and just walked out on faith. You wouldn't be that woman if you didn't go through the process. So
Right.
the process is always necessary. It's just how you dealt with the process would have been just a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, if I can go back to 16-year-old Daryl, I told 22-year-old Daryl Jr. here recently, if I was smart, you'd be 6 months old right now. So we're gonna go with that right there.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Right now,
Ooh,
though?
really? Right now?
Listen, I would have waited. I'm talking about I would. Tania, you know my
I mean, I
story.
understand the
He,
waiting part. However,
I said what I said. He'd have been 6 months old. That's the,
Okay, okay,
you know what? He probably would have been 6 years old. Now let me say that
okay.
because I would have. Oh my goodness, I would have. I would have. I know me. I would have left. I would have. I would have gone to school. I would have found a way to make life easier. At this point, I would have been more forward thinking because in the moment, when you're a teenager, you're thinking like right then, and
right.
I did, and honestly, no knock against my parents or anything like that, but I never had anybody say, like I tell my children, your decision today affects your tomorrow. Never had
Mhm.
that. So
Mhm. Mhm.
when I finally grasped that understanding, I was already in my mid-30s. I was already a father. I was already somebody who had already gone through a divorce. I was already somebody who's working on a second divorce. So certain things I know that I would have done completely different. I would have traveled the world. I would
Mhm.
have, oh man, I would have done a lot of stuff. Um, and that's just what it is for me. But now I don't discount anything that I've gone through. I don't try to. I don't know if I would. Well, I wouldn't want to go through everything, but some of the stuff that I knew I had to go through to get around, I know that in my mind I would have been thinking is going to get better on the other side,
Mhm.
because certain things anybody dealt with, we don't want to say, yeah, I'll go through that again. I don't want to have to go through everything again. I do want to be able to navigate things from a different perspective, this time, but fortunately, praise God, I'm about to be 47 this year. So I have no reason to even look back. I have no reason to even say, well, yeah, I want to re-go and do that. No, I'm good. I'm gonna stick with what I got going on right now because, life is getting better every day. It's getting better every day, and I still got
Mhm.
my family, still got my friends. God is putting me in different places now, and different doors are opening up. And I really appreciate all the lessons that I've learned over the years concerning not just myself, but family, my children, especially. Um, oh, I would have had a vasectomy a long time ago too. I would have had that vasectomy after DJ. Sorry, sugar mama, I love you, baby, but sorry, Scooter, I love you, little homie, but you wouldn't have been here. Yeah, I would have been off child support. I'm just saying.
And that right there is why we don't let you talk all the time.
Right. You hear y'all here. Oh Lord. This is why we
I,
sense it. We
I would
sense
have I
it.
would have been let them had it, baby. I'd have been out of here. I'd have been streaming with y'all from Botswana right now. It'd have been
Botswana. Shut
And getting
up.
it, we go Tania and getting into trouble.
no.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely.
Absolutely.
I would have no. I would have been living my life as a saved man in Africa. God dog it.
And getting
No,
into trouble.
no, but seriously though, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna give y'all flowers now. Now y'all know I love y'all. And Tracy
Mhm.
said, Tania, Tracy already told me that y'all done been talking bad about me because she said I don't reach out to y'all. But I'm like, I give people in their relationship space. Cause
No, no, no. I didn't say anything.
okay, maybe she was venting to you then.
She
Because I
was.
try to give people their space, and I get it. We
Because
grown.
I'm not the one to say anything about.
Cause see, all I know is my cousin has this mystery man that's been treating her all kinds of well all this time. I ain't met this joker yet, so
You
he could be
haven't
a
been
figment.
married.
So for all I know, I don't know.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
Wait, Tania has met him and so forth.
My name Daryl. My name Daryl. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't have a T anywhere in my name.
you'll be all right.
Hey, look, y'all know where I live, so hey,
I
Tania
know
got
we
my
have to
address.
go
Y'all can
visit.
just pull up
We have
whenever
to
you
go
get
visit.
ready.
I do.
Okay, Marquise, you got anything to say about that?
What? That we gonna come visit?
Yeah, it's about to get hot outside,
I know.
so I'm just saying.
I'm gonna come sleep in my room.
Okay. Look, we're not gonna hash that out right now, but I want y'all to tell the people what it is that if y'all want to get in touch, if people are able to get in touch with you, if you like Tania already said she's taking clients. Tracy, I want you to tell people what it is that you do and how we can get in touch with you to get to utilize your services and things like that. And
Okay.
let me see while y'all talking, I'm gonna think of anything I want to ask y'all concerning these relationships. I'm not
Okay.
gonna get messy. I promise you, I'm not.
Okay. Well, I'll go first. So, again, I said that I am an author and entrepreneur. So you can get the books that we talked about tonight, Dating versus Hooking Up, or you can get Happy Life. They're available on Amazon.com, or you can go to Madeline Riley .com and click on books by Marquise, and you can order the books there and they can be shipped out to you. I'm also am a custom jewelry designer. So I do custom one of a kind pieces out of lightweight metals, gemstones, beads, and different charms. And so we very affordable, $15 to $40. You can check us out and do stuff. We also do repairs. We repair your favorite earrings, necklaces, bracelets, and then we also repurpose. So you have jewelry that is broken, but you want to do something with it, or that family heirloom that you want to turn into something else. That is us. That is what we do. So you can check us out again, malinriley.com, or you can go to amazon.com to get the books. That's me.
Tania,
Yes, sir.
what you got going on?
So I am providing therapy services. I am licensed in Indiana and Illinois. So I'm able to provide therapy services to clients. I do have some contact information. I don't know if you can drop that in the
I put in
in
the
the
description.
comments.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're doing. So I do have to ask y'all this. We've been planning this family reunion down south for a very long time. Why is it? Can y'all tell the people why y'all don't want to stay at your great granddaddy's house? It's a beautiful house.
Because to me, there are people that I don't told you.
Oh
Yeah.
You
gosh.
think I was scared to
Don't
say it
nobody live there.
publicly?
Yeah. Well, because how come every time we go down there, it ain't enough room for everybody? So where we gonna stay?
It's
It don't. I don't
hotel.
care how much room now. It don't matter. It could be completely empty. No, no.
Y'all spent. We got pictures of y'all spent great deals of time in that house.
I
Um,
visited. I never spent. I've never stayed the night there.
I've never stayed the night there either. I've only visited.
I always stayed up the street at Auntie Leela's house. No.
Yeah, and when the other aunties was alive, I stayed at their houses. Now, me and Tania have been having a conversation about taking the existing land around the house and making a family compound where we can build some other houses and have some farmland on there. So now we do want to do that now.
okay. So the somebody sent me a text about ask a relationship based question, please. Okay, so let me see. Let me ask y'all a relationship based question. What question would you like for me to ask? Just send me in the text so I can get the answer. Since you don't want to put it in the comments. And I expect this question gonna be kind of juicy too. So let me see what this is. Let me see what question I'm gonna get right now.
Anybody got questions?
Right.
Yeah, yes, we are taking questions and comments right now. Do y'all
You
want
know,
people to call y'all?
Call us?
Yeah,
Call us or call you?
call
What do you
me.
mean call? Oh,
Call
okay.
me
There you go.
and talk to y'all.
I mean, we have no problem with that. As long as it's,
Okay, so I ain't gonna put the phone up. 470-615-9822. If you want to talk to Tania or Marquise, if you want to ask them anything, it's 470-615-9822. That's the number. And we're here. I'm gonna give these people a little time to do what they need to do because I'm telling you something. I said this in the background, and I really mean this. I really appreciate y'all coming on today because y'all know me. Yeah,
oh yeah, we do. We love you.
y'all know me, and yeah. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to the Serious Seven. I ain't gonna name everybody, but shout out to the Serious Seven. Tania, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I
Uh,
love them. I love them. I love them to death. My
Con-
sisters forever.
Connie, honorable mention. Shout out to Connie. Um,
The one's holding her down.
ooh, ooh, ooh. Shout out to Hammond, Indiana, East Chicago. Shout out to everybody in
So, do you have
Chicago.
your
Shout out to.
relationship question, cousin? Let me
Go ahead.
redirect
Yeah,
your
what is the
message.
relationship question? Did they send it?
No, y'all. Do y'all? Here we go. Oh boy. Okay. Uh, oh. Okay. Can y'all see it?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Well, the
The
first thing
most
I would say
crucial.
is
I got two of them, three of
was
them.
the
Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
before you go. Well, first I would say we some of the things we talked about tonight. The fundamentals is knowing who you are, knowing what it is that you want, also making sure you're not in the place where you're settling, and also understanding as I always like to quote Life Jennings, don't be a nickel out here looking for a dime. So
Mm.
you have to
Mm.
be so if you're looking for something specific, making sure that you can reciprocate and give those things back. Don't be and this is for people in general. Don't be the person out here want the person that's making six figures and you're not making six figures because then you have to figure out how you're contributing. Because too many people wants to look at the relationship from the materialistic, what he can buy or what she can buy, or who can pay what bill, what trip, and all this other sugar daddies and sugar mamas and all these other different things that you're looking for. The true factor of the relationship that's going to be successful is those foundational pieces of are they gonna be your best friend? Can you talk? Can you laugh? Can you play? Can y'all have enjoyment time together? Do you all have the five elements of happy relationship? Time by yourself, time with the Lord, time with your family, time with each other, time with your friends. Um, because if you don't have that balance, you get to be these needy people and to be these people who like to be smothering each other, and you get to be people that don't trust. And the most important thing is heal. If whatever you've been through, please heal because insecurity ruins relationships.
Mm. Tania, you want to answer it?
Well,
Because you took it there.
I would say, knowing yourself, knowing what you want. Um, mm, I'm like, okay, Tracy, feeling the well.
Exactly. I mean,
It's the process.
I mean, I should have soloed you out so you could just went on and preach. Preacher, go ahead. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Again, knowing yourself, knowing what it is that you want. Um, Also, being open minded too, and not just, having in your mind where it is like, and this may be kind of somewhat different to what Tracy is saying. Instead of having or similar having a specific thought or idea of what your partner is supposed to look like. I mean, you never know. It's not going to be complete, like you said, tied up in a bow. It may not
Mm-hmm.
look like what you thought it was going to be. It may not smell like, whatever. Like, just kind of be open minded and just know what it is. What can you and what can't you deal with? I think that's the main thing. Know what you can and what you can't. Once you know that and be able to communicate those things, I think basics.
Okay. What are your
Yeah. And
thoughts?
the second question is, Alicia talks about what are your thoughts on why marriage doesn't last as long as it days. The number one thing is we have got it twisted about understanding what marriage is. We keep looking for the one and not understanding God says when you get together, you become one. In order to become one, you have to be able to deal with the good, the bad, the ugly, like what why Tania has very high standards when it comes to a potential husband because she watched her father honor every last one of those marriage vows. And her parents became one through the marriage. People are
Right.
expected to have a successful 40-year marriage at the beginning stage of the marriage, but you don't understand they went through 40 years to get to the successful 40-year marriage. And
Right.
so for it to be one, you have to be ready to deal with all the stuff. And marriage does two things. It allows you to be able to see a mirror up to yourself and a mirror up to your partner. And if you're not ready to encourage, motivate, support, and grow in the marriage, you're not ready for marriage
Mm.
because it's going to force you to do those things. Every insecurity, every struggle, every challenge you will ever have in your entire life is going to come from in the marriage. And if you haven't learned how to deal with those things or tackle those things, and like Tania said, communicate those things to your partner up front, you're going to have a hard time.
Mm. Tania?
I agree with what Tracy's saying, but I do want to add this piece though. I don't really think that marriages the breakups of marriages are so different now than before. I think that a lot of it from before is just simply that divorce wasn't something that you could do.
Right.
You know, the
Grandma
processes were
couldn't
different.
leave. Right.
Right, like you
Right.
had to, as a woman, you had to depend on the man, you know, like literally had to depend on him because you couldn't even get credit in your name and things like that. So I think that that has a lot to do. You probably would have seen a whole lot more divorces back in yesteryear, you know, had they had the same equalities that we currently have
Yep.
now.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Grandma just couldn't leave back then. She didn't
Oh
Yep.
have
yeah.
anything. She had to go work at the white folks' house, as they used to say, or she couldn't get a bank loan, or she couldn't establish credit. That's why when people get
Yeah.
a divorce now, they say you're granted a divorce because a judge had to say, "Oh, well, okay, that's bad enough. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get this divorce." Um,
Hmm.
I mean, we got people in our own family that went through some things growing up, and like it's like if
Hmm.
like I told one of our cousins, Rachel, I was like, I want to make a movie out of your mom's life because
Hmm.
she had a life. Our auntie dog, God rest her peace, God rest her soul,
Hmm.
but
She
yeah,
did.
grandmama and them couldn't go nowhere. They either barefoot and pregnant and or out there working in the fields or something like that, but they just couldn't go. And,
Yeah.
people keep talking about why can't we go back like it was when grandma and granddaddy was together?
You don't want
You
to.
don't want to
You
do
don't
it.
want that. You don't want to be the woman knowing that your husband is out there cheating on you or living with a whole nother woman for a whole year, and then you have to stay at home and take care of the kids and have the woman call you tell you come get your husband.
Yeah,
Or maybe you do. Maybe you are okay with that because everybody lives different lives.
they didn't call it
So,
poly back then.
however,
They didn't call it
huh?
poly back then.
No, they
They,
didn't.
we just got a
You
name for
know,
it in two
but
thousands.
you know, you just have to just being able to make decisions for yourself. I would
Right,
say that.
Mm,
Tracy.
yep. Okay. So, when did I know it's time to leave? To be really honest, I knew year one.
God, dog, what?
I knew year one.
Mm.
Now, why I
Ooh.
stayed is because I was very insecure, people pleasing, and because it was already spoken before we got married that the marriage wasn't gonna last. So I was too busy trying to prove people wrong. But
Mm.
honestly, I knew year one. Year one, I literally packed up all my stuff and went back home. But then I realized when I went back home, it wasn't the same home. And it was like, okay. okay.
Hmm.
So it was like, okay, we gotta go, we gotta go back. And but but honestly, what really prompted me to leave was there was a few things. There were some health things that I had went through and the lack of support. There was when my grandmother passed away, lack of support and and infidelity in the marriage. Like I dealt with a lot of different things. And I think it's when it got down to the point where after I had given you 4 children and after 20 years of marriage, I had gotten sick and you was basically treating me like your roommate. I remember I had got sick in April, lost my job in June, and I was told, well, while you looking for a job and waiting for your severance, I'll lend you the money to pay the bills and pay for your car note and pay this and do these different things, and then when you get a job, you can pay me back.
Yeah.
That was it was like, "It's time to go."
So basically, the lack of emotional involvement on his part, because
Mhm,
that was basically that's worse than you treat somebody in the streets for, because
Yeah, yeah.
that
yeah,
lack of emotional involvement. And we all as men we have to learn that over the years, but some of us are just when a person checked out. You know when a person has checked out on you, and it becomes like more of a convenience thing than anything else in your life, and it's like I never asked for this. I never wanted that. Especially being because how much older was he than you?
5 years.
So he was
Yeah.
22 and you were 17 when y'all got married.
Mhm,
That's still a good little window. Please, people, our people got together when it was 13 and 14. So that just it is what it is. It ain't that type of party. So, but having that lack of emotional connection after all of those years is like, and I get it. It makes you feel as if though, what have I been doing all of these years? Have I
mhm.
been just existing? Because clearly I
Yep.
wasn't living.
Mm-mm.
Um, and y'all know I'm a proponent of people getting with people that you like and they like you back. That's I
Mhm.
never tell nobody. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't gonna never tell nobody to. Oh well, she got a good heart. I can't see her heart. I see them jeans and I see them hearts later on. If I don't like you, I know I ain't gonna want to be with you like that. And that's
Mm.
just. It seems like I don't know. I don't know his perspective. I would love to have him on one day if you ever talk to him again. I would love to have. I'll separate y'all like this right here. I would put you on this side of him on that.
Next question, Bruce.
Next question.
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
got you,
I
cousin. I
look.
got you.
I mean, even
I
going through
got
my
you,
own
Tracy.
divorce,
Thank you.
I just
Because
it's
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't. I don't hate him. We don't hate each other. But I realize that I'm not. I'm not her. I'm not her. I'm
right,
not the woman that he remembers. Just even now, after we've been divorced 6 years, and he's remarried now,
right.
and
Has it been
so it's
six
like,
years?
yeah, it's been 6 years,
Wow,
and
wow.
yeah,
That is
and
crazy.
but even the woman I was when I married him, the woman I was when I divorced him, is not even the woman I am today because there's still things. We have 4 children. They're grown. The youngest one's 22 years old, and we got uh, you know 4 grandchildren together. But it's just like I'm,
Listen,
and
the
so when you
time
try to
moves.
do the tactics and the things that you did when we were married with me now, I just kind of laugh and be like. It's funny. I'm just like, huh, interesting. You still think I'm that girl, but she dead and gone.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Since you said that, like you weren't the same girl, like at which point, because y'all were married 25 years, and I know, and I believe people change every 5 to 7 years
Mhm.
in their lives. When do you see at which point, like when do you go back? If you go back and take inventory of that time of your life, like at which point did you feel like you went to another dimension in your life or as another person? Like you
Mm.
changed from the 17-year-old you to the, how many years apart do you think that was?
I think the number one thing was we were not we were not friends. It was always a hierarchy. It was that
Mm.
person's way of the highway. We were never on the same level. I never had a voice, and I think it wasn't until, honestly, crazy as it's gonna sound, it wasn't until I was like 30. I was
Mhm.
30 years old when I started, because at 22, 25, I was kind of feeling some kind of way, but it was, but 30 changed something, and 40 really changed something. But at 30, it was just like, when you gonna start treating me like I'm 17? I'm not 17-year-old anymore. And I have a brain, and I have decisions, and I have thoughts, and all my thoughts and so forth are not negative. Like, why can't I contribute? Why does everything have to be your way? And and also understanding, like, how do you, just the way arguments, communication, and so forth, it was always, I felt like I was always being bullied, that I could never, like, I would speak, and then it was like quickly trying to shut my mouth. um and it was just like, and I just kind of went into this shell, and it wasn't until one of my friends had saw me outside of the house, and she had came up to my job, and she looked at me and she said, "Who are you?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Who you are at home and who you are in this office are two different people." She said, "You're confident, you're reassured, you know who you are." She
Mhm.
said, "You're a totally different woman when you at work." She said, "But when you go home, you shrug, you don't say anything, you're very quiet, you're very palatable." She was like, "Who are you?" She said, "Because this
Right.
don't work." And it was that process that I started to realize that we were growing apart. And I always felt like the individual always made me feel like we were in competition. It was never that we celebrated each other or got to the place where we got to celebrate. I got my master's, he got a degree. I wanted to celebrate him getting the degree, being a valedictorian, and so forth. And I remember being told, don't give me no celebration party because you want me to give you one next year. And I'm like,
Nigga.
what? Like, it's like, can I not celebrate you? Like, what's going on? And
Right.
I started to realize it was always a competition. It was always, you know, them not accepting and appreciating the value of who I was.
Mhm. Tania, do you remember, like, when you started going through different dispensations in your life?
Um, I do. I think mine are more related to having the boys.
Uh-huh.
Um, going through the process of becoming a mother, um, and what that responsibility entailed. Going to school, deciding to go back to school. Um, um, while I was pregnant, which was a difficult thing. For me, like are the times like I really remember um, changes or moments of, I call them the aha moments, where it felt like the light kind of just came on. Like, okay, well, this is it. This is what what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. I think it really just in terms of like knowing yourself. Like for me, that just happens so often, sporadically. And I think, and seeing this is where it kind of gets technical. It's like where it's like the more mindful you are, about things, and you practice, mindfulness, and you meditate and those things like that, it starts to clear and open your mind.
Mhm.
So you are always kind of having these, little miniature, these little baby aha moments, about yourself, or where I am being more intentional about figuring out, some of the things, like some of the things that I like. One of my biggest transitions, actually, I'm going through currently, after my dad passed. Like, for me, in a sense, that was kind of like the end of an era. Of caring for people, because I have been caring for people for so long, for probably since I was like 9, 10 years old or something like that. So it's just to be living in a space where I'm no longer caring for anyone and just trying to put the primary focus on myself. Like it's so hard for me.
Mhm.
So I'm currently in that transition. So, and for me, like what that looks like, it looks like a lot of, quiet time. It looks like, me being intentional with small things, just trying to figure out what I like, even down to foods as simple, simple as
Right.
that. Like, what am I doing? What am I going to do next? What am I just going to do for me? Because I haven't really lived in that space. So I think for me, it's like really when I think about it, it's like I really had no room for a marriage for years because I was caring for people. Like how do you have room, for a marital relationship, when you are divided and split up in so many places, going to school, working, taking care of this person and that person, like, it's really a lot. So now just kind of really settling down and being like, okay, well, do I want to be in a relationship? Don't I want to be in a relationship? Like, what does that really look like for me?
Well, I tell y'all what, we can have this conversation all night because it's a whole lot of other stuff that we can go to. But tonight is Sunday. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. Believe it or not, I know it don't seem that long, but I just want to say I really appreciate both of you guys being here so very much. Maybe one day soon, maybe we can try to do this like once a quarter. We can start talking about more salacious things. No, y'all got to do Daryl Show After Dark. I'm sorry, yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly gonna be required. That sounds
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah. You
Saturday
got to pay
night
for
with
that one.
with,
Yeah,
with a
we're
drink.
we not gonna give
Yeah,
you out for
really.
free. You got
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, you gotta
you
pay
got
for
to pay for
that.
that one. But I just want to say I'm proud of both of y'all tremendously. I've seen you. We're cousins. We all came up in that red clay, Highway 431, Pittsburgh, Alabama. Y'all scared to come back, but whatever. Y'all still own land there. we still have a family house there. All of these things. It's open and available for you. But I am proud of you guys, the mothers that you are, the business women that you are. Um, Listen, life is life in all directions. And again, I really thank you for taking out the time for being who it is that you are. Maybe I get to come to Chicago this year, or you guys get to come to where I am, and I get to meet this mystery man. Don't know.
Dun dun dun.
Da,
To
da,
be
da.
continued.
To be continued. So, but thank you once again. You guys, please reach out to my cousins. These are great women of God. I'm talking about everything from Tania, where's my chicken rings to Tracy, you don't know that about
No, but I know it's a
Tracy,
story.
Tracy, you
They in the
don't know
car
nothing
on the
about
floor
that.
where you left them.
Tracy, I gotta tell this story. I gotta tell it to Tania. I got to. So so one night, Tadia and I went to it was Tadia, myself, and how many other members of the Series 7? At least five of them. Maybe 4 or 5. Some of them in the
I
comments
can't
right
even remember
now.
where we was, Bree.
Did we
I
go to
just remember that
Jaguar?
car ride home.
Did we go to Jaguar somewhere like that?
It might have been.
It was some club over in Illinois.
Oh
Let
Lord.
me tell you something. Was it Harvey? Was it at Harvey?
Um,
We were close.
Dixmoor or something.
It don't
Oh yeah,
matter.
that's
It
close.
don't even matter. All I know is we came home. Where were you living at the time?
In
It don't matter.
Maryville.
Where? In Maryville?
Maryville.
Yeah.
Okay. We came home that night. Oh, look, look. We came home and it was, oh gosh, what time was it? Who knows? It don't really matter. All I know is a lot of drinking took place.
Only God got
Number
us home.
one, I don't even know how we got home. Tania was driving.
Oh Jesus.
Only God. I was good back there because I used to could hang. Now I get sleepy and it's over.
Yeah, I
So
know.
You know, I
Number
go to
This is
two,
sleep
why
now.
we
But back then, I
make
used to
sure
cause
you have
boo.
designate.
how in the world did we go through the drive-through at White Castle?
Cause you said you wanted some White Castles and you kept getting on my nerves. So I went to take you to get the dang White Castles. You placed your order and you went to had them in your hand and went to sleep.
And left them in the car.
Girl, drop that shit right, right on the floor.
I woke up the next day. I'm like,
Oh
Tania, why did you get my chicken raised? She was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, did we go to White Castle the hour? Oh my goodness, we were gone. Man, I got out to that car. Later on that morning, where my
Right there
chicken
in the
rings
floor.
were? On the floor
On
in
the
the car.
floor.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, all over the floor too.
I
Whew,
had to
boy, we
get
got
him
some
out the car.
stories.
I had to wake him up, get him out the car. I
No,
sure
you was
wasn't
not
finna
thinking
give
about
all
no
of her no
food.
food. I had my food though.
Yeah, let me sign off because these people ain't gonna take me serious. These people are not gonna take me serious no more after this right here. Ooh,
Oh God. She said
we
she
had
had
a
food. She had
time, boy.
food.
God dog it.
Yeah, yes,
Oh
We
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 had
had a
some
time
times. That is for sure.
from the Jaguar to the Purple Steel to
Man,
Calumet Avenue. Oh man,
Lord.
you know what?
we've done a lot of things.
I can't say no more. Everything else got to be Daryl Show After Dark. Let me tell y'all
Oh
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
that's right.
definitely.
It's got to be Daryl Show After Dark. I love y'all. Okay, we're gonna
Love
get
you
together
too.
soon, and we're gonna have us a good old time. You know,
Mhm.
you're gonna bring your significant others, or just bring your other,
Listen.
whatever. You know, hey, get down how you get down. And I, I just want to say again, I love y'all. I'm proud of y'all. I'm
I
godly
hate
proud
him.
of y'all. And
So,
you, Tania, y'all do my obituary. No matriculate, please.
Gotcha.
Um,
Because I wouldn't even
we
have
got
thought to
you.
use
We
it.
won't, that word won't nowhere near be there.
okay. And look, they gonna Tiffany to us. I'm telling too much. You right, Tiffany, because your hands ain't clean either. But shout out to you anyway.
Hang up. Hang up right now. Hang
Oh
up this line.
God.
How do you hang
Oh
this
boy.
line
Anyway,
up?
again, people, thank you guys. Please, thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for participation. I really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna put y'all in the back. I really appreciate you guys being here this evening. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Hopefully we can have this conversation later. It's a whole lot. We got deep rabbit holes and full of, and rabbits live in briar patches. So before you stick your hand in there, just know you pull it back out, it's gonna be scarred up and scraped up. Okay. So I just want to say I thank you. I really appreciate you guys. This has been a great show. We've been on for almost an hour and a half, and there's a whole lot more stories that we have. And we really appreciate you guys. Email us, call us, do all that you need to do to reach out. Please follow us on all socials. Please again, like, share, subscribe, and so I can continue bringing this content right here. It's free. I ain't asking for anything. Okay, until it's Daryl Show After Dark. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey, little Musty. My bad. I forgot. I was too busy trying to get up out of here because I'm off to the next thing. Check this out. I forgot to tell you, I need for you to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Every time you see this chocolate man with these headphones and this doggone black glasses, you know you're finna get some good quality content. We over here talking with some sense over here, okay? I want you to let all your people know. Tell them to meet me every Sunday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Facebook, YouTube, every streaming platform you can find. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support and I thank you. I'll catch you next time. All right? Peace.